All right, guys. Quick review. It's currently October 15th, so we can only review part of October for ADA, but I didn't have a September to review. So what we see here, where's October start? Here it starts right here. Oh, excuse me. It starts right here. Okay, so we have a high that we start off on the first, right, and then there's a minor trough there for the month between the first and the second. We have here on the second a trough, followed by some erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. On the third, revisiting a crest that was a past opportunity. Looks like it really carries into the fourth. The completion of a bullish trend there on the fourth, followed by a decline to a prominent trough or low on the fifth. That's pretty solid. Pretty fast to move higher to reach for another high on the 7th. Looks like we're off by a day on the 7th. It's still pretty damn good for the overall sequence of events. And then it looks like it gets a little dicey here. We have like what you could consider on a very strong bearish chart. You would see this happen sometimes when there's a very strong underlying trend to the downside. It kind of like caps off, it kind of like hinders the bullish energy. So you can see these didn't really turn into highs as expected, but you can see kind of what I mean by that there on the 8th, and then again on the 9th, right? We have something there. Then we fall pretty hard. Looks like from the 9th to the 10th, there's a decline on the 10th. We have some sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend preceding a decline, and then on the 11th we have a notable decline that would stand out on a notable decline that would stand out on a 1 month chart. Looks like it carries over into the 13th. Oh wait, that's the 12th. Huh. Okay, that one's off a little bit as far as the day's behavior, but 13th, on the 13th, we have a big move out of a decline all the way from the bottom of a range to the top of a range. You can see what I mean by that there. And it looks like we were off about the high was on the 13th, not the 14th. Excuse me, off about the low. It was on the 13th, not the 14th, but still pretty good. And then we do sideways sideways rotation, attempting to establish or re-establish support here on the 15th. So for the first half of the month, it's looking pretty good. Not my finest work, but guys, we review everything. We leave the good, the bad, and the ugly up. We have nothing to hide here. This is still pretty darn good. And when you look at when we did the October Cardano reading, it was conducted, date created September 18th, 2022. If you know anybody that can get in anywhere remotely near that kind of accuracy a month ahead of the market, please, I'd love to meet them. Check out the full November reading now, guys. Thanks for watching. This is the Cardano 1 month overview reading for November 2022. It's currently October 15th, 2022, 11:29 p.m. The overall theme and behavior, guys, we have a male ruler of nations that's highlighted here. Usually there's a significant support level highlighted in relation to this card, but this is on a month scale theme. There's an important male ruler somehow involved in Cardano in the month of November. It's crossed with something unexpected, like an improbable happening. Generally speaking, a big move to the upside that's unexpected. The behavior out of the high, we have a sharp decline through multiple support levels on a 1 month chart. Out of the high, and then out of the low we have a significant move to the upside, almost irrational move higher to reach for a distant resistance level. On the first, we have a critical support level on a 1 month or a multi-day chart, I should say, and it looks like it's a new support level at a higher level. Also, the male ruler of nations is highlighted specifically on the first. So there may be something going on there with the male ruler. On the second, we have the unicursal critical resistance levels highlighted. Volume and volatility kind of flatten out at that level, or there's some sort of compromise, maybe something in. There may be something in the news having to do with like compromise of some sort. In any case, it's a critical price level. On the third, we have we have bullish price swings. On the fourth, sideways rotation. On the third, we also have the male ruler highlighted. On the fourth, we have the male ruler highlighted as well. And there's sideways rotation along a key support level on a 1 month chart, increasing with matter of fact, not increasing. It's just sideways rotation. And then it looks like there's a little bit of a rally actually into the fifth, where we have a critical price level highlighted. There's a sudden move or an unexpected move to the upside to reach for a critical price level, and then there's a swing trade opportunity on there on the fifth there, involving a sharp decline on a 1 month on a 1 day chart. On the sixth, there's a lot going on here on the sixth. So we have a big move early in the morning. Looks like we break out and we reach for what may be a high for the month, but more likely just a prominent crest here. And I'm advised to open up protection at that prominent crest early in the morning. Looks like we probably decline to a prominent trough by late in the day, either that or the following day, the 7th, where we have a sharp decline in a period of bearish price swings. On the 8th, we have a period of volatility that offers an opportunity to position oneself in both directions if that's possible. Like if you can short ADA, then you could position yourself theoretically in both directions for volatility. There's also another correlation there to a unexpected move higher, sudden move, and it looks like we have a prominent trough and a prominent crest on the 9th. So early in the day on the 9th, there's a significant move higher out of oversold territory. Although I am advised that we will see a lower level than the low of the 9th, probably on the 11th, or maybe even the 10th actually. No, I don't think on the 10th. On the 11th, there's a sharp drop in there between the 2nd and the 3rd somewhere. I'm picking up on a sharp drop there, like a significant decline on a 1 month scale, just after that unicursal, somewhere around there. It could be the 6th, but it's the 3rd. Okay, so on the 9th, cessation of a trend near the high on early in the day on the 9th. The day's high early in the day on the 9th, and it looks like a prominent month trough for the month, somewhere in there on the 9th, and we have a big move out of it. The following day on the 10th, this is most likely the high for the month. This is most likely a high for the month, I should say. Like, this is probably one of the more prominent highs that'll stand out. At least up until this point, it's the highest high for the month. And we move higher through resistance, followed by a decline through that same price level shortly thereafter. End of the day on the 10th, there's a big move higher, and then selling on the 11th from an overbought crest or peak down, and we sell down to another prominent trough for the month. Out of that prominent trough, there's a fast sudden move higher on the 12th, and another prominent crest here between the 12th and the 13th. Volatility, a period of volatility on the 13th, with a little bit of a rally earlier in the day, but a period of volatility on the 13th with a sharp drop in that period of volatility. On the 14th, sudden move higher, also correlated here, a sudden move, like unexpected move higher, correlated to the 14th and the 15th. On the 14th, we have a big move higher in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. I left out a couple trades here, guys. I'm so sorry. So on the 8th, there's an opportunity to trade. It's either on the 8th or the 9th. I think probably on the 8th, there's an opportunity to trade in the midst of its notable decline on a 1 day chart. There's also another swing trade opportunity there on the 8th or the 9th, most likely on the 8th, involving a period of volatility, a period of decline that ends with a fast sudden move higher. It looks like that fast sudden move higher is towards the 9th. Okay, so we go into a high on the 10th. There's a prominent crest on the 12th or the 13th, but I think the high is probably the 10th. On the 13th, period of volatility, sudden dip. All right, we did these two. On the 15th, there's a period, there's a bit of volatility there. We meet an important resistance level, and that resistance level marks a good point in the midst of the volatility to position oneself in both directions if that's possible to do so at Cardano. And by that I mean holding a long position and a short position, and maybe in a different exchange or something. Oh, swing trade opportunity on the 10th around that high as well. There's a sharp decline off of that high involved in the swing trade. And then on the 14th, there's a correlation to a big move higher, sudden unexpected move to the upside, but there's also a swing trade opportunity in there involving a sharp decline on a one-day chart. On the 15th, two swing trade opportunities, one involving a sharp decline on a one-day chart, another one involving the end of a period of decline marked by a fast sudden move higher. On the 16th, it looks like we have a crest early in the day. There's a move higher, and it looks like a crest early in the day, or a cash out opportunity early in the day. On the 17th, we have a swing trade opportunity involving a sharp decline that would stand out on a one-day chart. There's also a correlation to a big move, a sudden unexpected move higher. And there's a swing trade opportunity there in the midst involving a sharp decline on a one-day chart that would stand out. On the 18th, a notable decline there for the day, possibly multiple different coins being hit there, or maybe it's like a global decline on the 18th. But it's off of like a crest that we see at the end of the day on the 17th, or the early in the day on the 18th, and by that I mean a prominent crest for the month. Not a high, but a prominent crest. On the 19th, we have multiple headwinds pushing shares lower. There's like a resistance level, and there's like a bunch of jagged kind of behavior going on below it. And then on the 20th, we have what's very likely the month's low. There's the beginning of a rally starts on the 20th, a notable move out of the month's low there on the 20th, and then the 21st we do sideways rotation, moving higher to reach the closest significant resistance, and then falling back down and continuing to do sideways rotation along the same support. On the 22nd, there's a peak that is easily missed, or high, or that's easily missed on the 22nd. We decline pretty hard. There's a swing trade opportunity there involving the end of a decline marked by a fast sudden move higher. On the 23rd, a period of volatility contains within it another prominent crest, and there's a fast sudden move higher there towards the end of the day, ending that period of volatility. On the 24th, a lot of price movement there. We move higher. There's like a big prominent move higher, but it's matched by an equal move back down, and a full retracement back down. That would stand out on a 1 month chart, this move higher and back down. And there's a lot of price movement there early in the day, especially. On the 25th, we have a rally along a diagonal trend line that breaks down with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Another strong possibility of a month's low here, like the second most likely place to see a month's low. Here between the 25th and the 26th, I'm advised to be cautious on the 26th. Multiple false tops or bottoms, multiple false bottoms on the 26th. And then another crest, prominent crest for the month on the 26th, 27th, probably early on the 27th. We have a move higher and then a move back down. There may be a merger of some kind highlighted here, or an agreement between two leaders. On the 28th, we revisit past problems, and there's a notable decline through a critical support level that we on a 1 month chart that we had recently broken through before. So like within maybe like a week's time. Usually within like 3 days, but maybe within like a week's time is kind of like the range for recently on a 1 month chart. And then on the 29th, we have a period of erratic behavior, price behavior back and forth through the same price level. In the midst of that, we revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. And there's a swing trade opportunity involving a failed attempt to break through a key resistance that we're expecting to break through based on technical chart pattern, and instead we decline and break down through key support on a 1 month chart. Same thing goes for the 30th. There's a swing trade opportunity involving a failed attempt to break through a key resistance on a 1 day chart, followed by a decline through key support on a 1 day chart. And then on the sneak preview card for December, we have sideways fluidity along a support level. Sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow, outflow. There's usually like kind of like you finish off the time frame of whatever that card represents. You finish off at roughly the same price level that you started, but there could have been like a lot of price movement in between. That's our Cardano for November 2022, guys. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Most importantly, make sure you're following that rule of karma, guys. There's people out there that need some love that they're not expecting. Give them some hope in the world, right? This channel also needs your support. And then most importantly, guys, for your own good, make sure you're spending that money out of love. As long as you spend that money out of love, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold in all directions, my friends. I'll see you on the next one.